Behind me is a Mk5 Golf R32, and in today's video I'm going to tell you why I think the Mk5 R32 is not going to be a future classic. Not only that, but today is probably my last day with this car because tomorrow someone's going to win this car for just 32p, but more about that a little bit later. So yeah, the Mk5 R32, as many of you know on this channel and just in general, I prefer the Mk4 Golf R32, but that's another story. Let's talk about the Mk5 R32 and what my thoughts are on this car. Now I think it's only right to start with the looks of this car, because let's be honest, the first thing you're drawn to with a car is the looks. Then it's economy and everything else, whatever you think, but it's the first thing that attracts you to a car is the looks of it. Same with a woman, same with a man. The first thing is attraction. So let's talk about the looks on this car. Now, by no means do I think the Mk5 R32 is an ugly car. In fact, I think the Mk5 R32 looks really, really nice, especially in the blue and especially as a 3-door combo. But that is the problem. The car looks nice. Nice. Maybe a little too nice, if I'm being completely honest with you. Now you're probably thinking, Anton, you're talking rubbish. How can a car look too nice? Well, I personally think the R range in the VW Golfs should look aggressive. You should look at one of those cars and think, wow, that looks really, really mean. And I think the Mk4 Golf R32 does this perfectly, whereas the Mk5 R32, they seem to have calmed it down a lot. It's got more curves, it's got more eye appeal, I don't know, it's just grown up maybe, I don't know. Now this isn't a bad thing for most people, but for me personally, as a fan of the R range, like I said, I want the cars to look mean, not lovely and jubbly. Now this isn't the only model of Golf that VW done this with. I think the Mk3 is the same, and I think the Mk7 as well. Whereas the Mk2, especially the Rally, the Mk4 and the Mk6 all look quite aggressive, and I think they've brought it back in the Mk8 as well. I personally think the Mk8 is a really, really good looking car. Where I personally think VW went really, really wrong is with the front end. As good as it looks, and it does look really good, they share the same looking front end with the VW Jetta. If this car was any other color than this blue, you would find it very, very hard to separate this between a Jetta from down the road. You would think it's your local Uber, taxi, delivery company or something like that. But listen, don't get me wrong, it's a really good looking front end, but like I said, it shares the same front end as a Jetta. Now going back to the Mk4 R32, that shares no similarities with any other platform of VW in its range. The Mk4 R32 looks like a Mk4 R32, and that is it. That's the same with the Mk6 as far as I'm aware, the Mk7, the Mk8 and so on. I think they only did it with the Mk5. I could be wrong, let me know in the comments. Now VW dramatically changed the Mk5 from the Mk4. I don't think they've got any similarities in my personal opinion. One of the biggest changes was the exhaust. It's gone to a middle center section kind of thing, which I think looks really, really nice. They carried this on with the Mk6 as well. Again, a really, really good looking car. However, this is what makes the Mk4 look even better in my opinion. It's got a very unique look about it. It's got that twin separate sided exhaust look, whatever you want to call it. I think it separates it really, really well. And I think VW did the right thing in changing the rear end. However, they did on the R36 stay with the further to the left and further to the right exhaust. I'm not too sure what you want to call it, but yeah, they kind of kept the same look on the R36 Passat, so that's very strange. But anyway, I think it suits the R36 Passat down to a T. And would the R36 Passat look nice with a middle section like this? I don't think it would. It looks perfect the way it is. Now let's move on and talk about the interior on the Mk5 R32. Very grown up once again. I really like the interior, but if we're comparing it to the Mk4, which I think is only right to do since it's me, there isn't much in here to separate it from the GTI, the GTD. In the Mk4 R32, you've got a really nice steering wheel, you've got an aluminium trim around the center console, you've got fancy door handles, door pulls, just a gear knob, so much more in the Mk4 than you have in the Mk5 R32. One thing VW did get right in the interior though is the optional extra of the wing backs. Amazing seats, they look amazing. They're not too uncomfortable. However, if you're looking to daily drive a Mk5 R32, you kind of want to go for the standard seats, which this car has. However, if you're going for the show look, or it's a weekend driver, or maybe even a track car, then yeah, try and find one with bucket seats. Or if you find a car that you like but it's got standard seats, you can pick up the R32 seats on a used market for around £1,500 to £2,000. Now I know it probably sounds like I'm putting the Mk5 R32 down a lot, but I really do actually like the car. I just don't think VW did enough to these cars to make them a future classic. So we've talked about the exterior of the car, we spoke about the interior of the car. Now it's only right we take the car out for a test drive. Now lucky for you guys and lucky for me, it's been quite a while since I've actually driven a Mk4 R32 or even a Mk5 R32. Apart from plodding this around my local area a little bit to move it and take pictures, I haven't taken it out for a real drive yet. And this specific R32 has a little trick up its sleeve. Yes, this Mk5 R32 has been fitted with a stage 3 RUF supercharger kit. Now it's got the looks, the sound and the power to match it. It's now making over 400 brake horsepower. From standard, these things only made around 250, and they definitely should have come with a supercharger from factory. And I'm just about to show you why that is. Now I'm sure we can all agree that VW did the right thing by leaving the legendary 3.2 V6 engine in the Mk5. Unlike the Mark 6, Mark 7 and Mark 8 where they downgraded to a 2-litre engine, the Mark 4 and the Mark 5 got the legendary V6 3.2. Listen to that. Now if you're worried about fuel economy, saving the earth or anything like that, definitely don't get an R32. Because this thing is really bad on fuel. Well, I say really bad, this is actually better on fuel than my diesel Defender, which is a newer car. It's a 21 plate and this is better on fuel. You can get roughly around 32 to 33 miles per gallon on a good drive in this. In my Defender, on a good day, I get about 27 miles per gallon. So yeah, definitely, wow, I just contradicted myself there, didn't I? Anyway, if you want to save money on fuel, don't get one of these. Also, I forgot to mention, this one is a DSG. Yes, in the Mk5 R32s, you had the option between a manual and DSG. In the Mark 4s, in the UK, you only got manual. However, in Germany, they did have around 200 limited run DSG Mark 4 Golfs, but we never saw them in the UK. America never saw them either. And as far as I'm aware, nowhere else in the world saw them either. So, yeah. Germans are always lucky, aren't they? Now I must say, in my older age, I do prefer a DSG gearbox. However, in the older cars, like your Mark 4s, your Mark 5s, your Mark 2s, even whatever maybe, they need to be a manual. They really do. And the reason for that is that these cars now are only really good for B-road driving. Because let's face it, a standard Mark 4 or Mark 5 R32 is going to get its butt handed to it by a souped up Corsa these days. That's the unfortunate truth. Now before we get to all the fun driving, I do need to make a trip to the petrol station, of course. I like to go for Momentum at Tesco. Not only is it cheaper, but it's apparently a lot better as well. There's quite a lot of YouTube videos out there now stating why Momentum is actually better than V-Power and whatever BP's premium fuel is as well. Today I'm going to be using V-Power because it's the closest thing to me. To go to Tesco I have to drive an extra 15 to 20 minutes away, and it's the opposite direction of where I want to be going to have a little bit of fun. Now the DSG gearbox is a little bit lazy in these cars, but I am used to the newer stuff like your RS3s and Mark 7Rs and stuff, so I think you can get these remapped and changed a little bit, but yeah, they are a little bit lazy. But still fun in manual mode. Actually, let's play a little game. I'm going to change gear I'll let you know when I've pressed it, and you hear when it changes, and you'll see how delayed it is. So I'm gonna press it now. Oh, so there's a slight delay, but like I said, this car is, what is it now? About 18 years old, something like that. Maybe even older, because this is a 57 car, but they did actually come out in 2005, I do believe, or maybe 6. But don't get me wrong, it's still a good gearbox, but it would be much better in a manual. That said, I think the DSG is more desirable in the Mk5 R32, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know in the comments if I'm right. Right, here we are, my trusted Shell garage. Well, I say my trusted, this is a good 10 minutes away from my house. And it's not the cheapest one either. So V-Power at the moment is £1.69.9. Regular fuel is £1.49.9. Anyway, let's get filled up and get on those back roads. £74.50 just cost me for 43.85 litres of fuel. Now listen, if you're worried about fuel in this car, like I said, someone's going to win this car for just 32p. I'm also going to give you £1,000 to help towards running costs, so you can cover your tax, cover some fuel, and some help towards your insurance as well. Make sure you go and check it out, levelupgiveaways.co.uk. But now back to the driving. Now you probably noticed me putting gloves on then. Listen, if you don't use gloves at the petrol station, please don't ever talk to me or shake my hand when you see me in person, because I know where my hands go. So imagine all the people that touch those petrol pumps, where their hands go, and they don't wear gloves. Yeah, think about that next time you're at the petrol station. Right, we're nearly at the location. Windows are down. We can listen to that charger, exhaust, V6 noise. Time to drop a few gears and have some fun. Right, 4th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, let's go! Wow. Oh, we've got a bit of a tunnel bridge. Let's go through that. Obviously, windows down. Ready, steady. Let's go. I don't know how much of this you can hear. I am using the external mic, so hopefully you can hear me quite well because obviously it's in the car. But listen, I haven't had this much fun in ages. Honestly, I'm not just saying it because I'm trying to give the car away. I highly doubt this video is even going to get that many views until the car's gone anyway. So yeah, I'm literally genuinely having a lot of fun in this car. The sun's out, clear roads, V6, supercharged. Yeah, it's the one. Let's go. Insane. You know what? This car's got like a 300-pound head unit in it. You should never need it. You should never need it. And you know what? The gearbox is actually alright. It's alright. I can live with it. I can live with it. Seems to be on the upshift, it's slightly slow. On the downshift, it's quite instantly, to be fair. But like I said, I'm pretty certain there is like maps and stuff that you can do to the gearbox to make it a bit faster. That noise. Talking of noise, actually, now I know you're gonna think I'm just saying this, but I don't know why, what it is, whether it's the cams or some sort of other difference in the engines, but the Mark IV actually sounds better. And let's just say it sounds different. It sounds different. I think it sounds better, but it definitely sounds different. Whether it's better is personal opinion. As with all of this video, it's all personal opinion. So anyway, I'm just going to enjoy these roads for a second. The difference between a turbo and supercharger. I'm not going to go into great detail. I'm just going to talk about the difference that I find and which many others will find as well. You do have to get high in the rev range to get the best out of it. Whereas a turbo, will come into life, depending on the size of course, will come into life around the 2,000 to 3,000, maybe even 4,000 RPM. This, you do need to get it into the 6,500 range to really appreciate the supercharger. Up until that point, it's it's progressively getting better, of course. But yeah, I'm not knocking it. I'm just stating facts. A big bump twitchy moment there. Now, don't forget, you could win this exact car for just 32p. Head over to levelupgiveaways.co.uk and grab your entries, but be quick because this is ending today. If you're watching this video and it's too late to enter, don't worry, grab a ticket on something else because I'm sure there'll be something on the website that takes your fancy. All money helps me to be able to make more videos just like this. And if you're outside of the UK and still want to support, hit that subscribe button. Right, so conclusion time. Listen, my opinion still stands. I don't think this is a future classic car. The only reason I think this isn't a future classic car, after driving it, after having a lot of fun today, is purely because of the Mark IV. If the Mark IV Golf R32 didn't exist, then this definitely would be a future classic. Listen guys, if you've enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button, catch me on the next one, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.